Hey, my name is James Nicholson. In this video, I want to talk about the main reason house prices did not crash in 2023. We've got some interesting data from HMRC. Never would say that. I never thought I would say that. But it's interesting data to let us know what transaction volume has happened in 2023 and why this probably is the main reason that prices didn't crash in 2023. Now, before we jump into that, as always, you know what's coming next, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification. I'll make a deal with you. I'll stop asking you that once we get to 1 million subscribers. How about that? But we're nearly at 20,000. So subscribe, hit the bell. And while you're there as well, whatever you've done, if you've subscribed or not, smash the like button or tickle the like button. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. We're going to hit 5 million views this year. That's what I'm boldly predicting. We hit 2 million last year and the channel's had some real growth. So do make sure you do that for me right now. So, HMRC, what a dull topic this one is, but it's not. Now, house prices have been the talk of the town. We were all expecting house prices to absolutely plummet when the pandemic started. I, myself, was quite worried about my portfolio. And the reason for that is, logically, it made sense that house prices would drop. And they did initially, very briefly. House prices did drop because we were locked in our houses. You couldn't do viewings. You had to do it with Zoom, or you had to view someone walking around with a FaceTime camera. Solicitors were difficult to deal with, and people were just comfortable where they were. You couldn't really move if you wanted to because you couldn't get a removals person to actually help you. And so we sat there thinking, market's got to drop. Then what the government did is they turned on the money printer. So businesses got bounce back loans for 50 grand. There was the furlough scheme that kept people employed. There was all these different things happening that kept the economy going. We printed so much money, people weren't going out and spending that money as well. People that would normally go to the pub or on holiday or clothes shopping or do their nails, they weren't spending that money. And so they were hoarding lots of it. And UK savings were at record highs during the pandemic. And so a lot of people started to invest in property because maybe they'd never had the opportunity to get a deposit for a house. And this was their final chance or their first opportunity to get something. And coincidentally, in that time, that's why I launched this channel, because I started investing for my two daughters. I've got two girls. I've got Emily that's 3. I've got Georgia that's 23. And I wanted to build a legacy for them. See, I'm a business owner and an investor, but they can't run my business, but they can take on my properties. And I wanted to have more for them, so give them some income right now. So I started looking for property investments. I started looking in Birmingham was one area we looked at. We looked at Doncaster as well. We were looking at auctions, and we were really struggling to get properties at the right price. What was happening in the auctions was that properties were being listed in Doncaster for 50 grand, and you'd expect that properties to go for 55, 60 maximum, but they were going for 70 or 80 grand. That was the value after I'd done it up, after I'd spent money. And so there was no real way to add value, and we struggled to get properties. During that time, house prices went on a record tear. For 2 years, we had great growth in house prices. Then we got inflation. And so that then caused the government to really focus, or the Bank of England to focus on, how do you deal with inflation? Well, the only tool the Bank of England has is to increase interest rates. If you increase the interest rates, it would stop people spending money, but it has a lag. So for 14 months, they put the interest rates up. That was really tough for a lot of people, particularly investors, because they pay interest only. So their payments sometimes doubled, tripled, or quadrupled. And that happened for 14 consecutive months. That took the steam out the market massively. And a lot of people then expected house prices to crash again. Halifax, as an example, this week I've made a video. Halifax said that house prices increased in 2023 by 1.7%. They expected house prices to crash or drop in 2023 by 8%. They were massively out. Everyone expected that to happen because at the end of 22, we had Liz Truss, we had a government that was basically causing all sorts of carnage. Interest rates that you could borrow at or I could borrow at were over 6.5%. And so that made logical sense that the market would go down again, but it didn't. And the reason why is because people stopped selling. That's the reason. And so there was a lack of stock on the market in 2023. You see, transactions were down 22%. 22% down in a year. Think about that. Think about that if you're a business that gets impacted by that, an estate agent, a solicitor, Rightmove, for example, all of these businesses that are impacted by that, mortgage lenders. So transaction volume was down by a quarter pretty much. And that meant that the properties on the market, there wasn't so many. There was still a fair few buyers on the market, cash buyers and other people that wanted to buy or needed to buy. With less stock on there, they didn't have that negotiating power to push the prices down significantly. And that's why house prices didn't crash. Now, what can we expect going forward? Well, this Boxing Day and just gone, so the 2023 Boxing Day, the increase in stock that listed on the market was 47% up over 2022 Boxing Day. That's a huge increase. What does that show us? Well, that shows us more stock is now on the market. It isn't like 2023. So what could be happening is suddenly there's now more distressed sellers. There's people that need to sell their property and they will take an offer. But it could also mean that the 22% that sat out the market in 23 have decided maybe with interest rates dropping, maybe they just waited long enough, maybe they want to start selling their properties because the house prices didn't crash. Now, no one knows for sure what's going to happen. I'd love to know your thoughts and comments on this. So do comment on all of my videos. It really is good to see all the community comments. Some of you comment on every video and some of you comment every now and again. So do comment. I'd love to know what your opinions are on this. But it will take a few months. What's going to happen is we've got a load of new stock on the market now. It's not massively reduced, down about 2% asking price wise, but what happens in 60 days or 90 days if those properties haven't sold? Are they going to be like 23 where they just pull off the market and wait and see again? Are they going to stay firm, leave it on the market but at the price that they want to achieve? Or are they going to be a distressed seller that has to sell because they can't afford the new interest payments on the mortgage? This is going to be an absolutely crucial year for homeowners and property investors alike. And no one really knows where we're going to end up. A lot of the expectations are that the market will be 5% up to 5% down in that kind of window. There's no one really, apart from a couple of YouTubers, that are saying huge crashes, drops, 30% plus drops. That's being mentioned by a few people, but most people feel it'll be in a fairly narrow window. Things that are improving are wages are going up, interest rates are going to keep going down, inflation is going down as well. So that could prop the market up. On the negative side, you've got more stock listed now. So that gives buyers an opportunity to get a deal. Let me know your thoughts and comments below. That's why house prices didn't drop, because there was less transaction volume in 2023. Let me know your thoughts and comments. Smash the like button or tickle it. Do something to that like button, guys. That really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. Go and check out some more content on my channel. Why don't you go and watch this video right here?